Kwasnick.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court is well aware, the purpose of the bond is to ensure adherence in all further court proceedings and also to protect society as well as victims in this particular case. There has been a PPO that has been served on the defendant by the victim in this case, and my understanding is that he has been abiding by that personal protection order throughout this process. That goes back, I think, a month or so ago at least. There is the one difference between this and the earlier defendants that we had earlier today and yesterday, of course, is that Mr. King is charged with 3 offenses as opposed to the others being charged with 1, and his most serious offense is a criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, which is a life offense. So based on the fact that Mr. King does reside outside of the state of Michigan, so for the purposes of the seriousness of the offense and his proximity to the proceedings, we would be asking that the court install a $50,000 cash surety bond in this particular case. Thank you.
All right, ma'am, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, please. My client has taken this case very seriously since the very beginning. When the allegations were made, he presented himself to the police. He made a full statement. He handed over his cell phone, which do contain videos of the alleged incidents on his phone. And we believe those videos, had the police been able to open them and access them, would completely show this was a consensual sexual act between my client and the complainant and the other young men involved in this case. There has been a PPO that was served on my client about a month ago. However, he has acted like that PPO was in effect since January of this year. He has made no effort to contact or get in touch with or have contact in any way, shape, or form with the complainant in this case. My client is from the Chicago area. He lives in Downers Grove with his mother, who's present in the courtroom, along with my client's aunt. My client actually drove here at 3:30 this morning so that he could be arraigned on this charge. If he was a flight risk or if there was any concern he would not be coming to court, he would not have driven here and be standing here in front of you today. In addition to that, Your Honor, my client cooperated with the OIE process over at Michigan State. I represented him on that. He has been fully cooperative and forthcoming. I do not believe he poses any risk of harm to society or to the public. I would ask this court to consider the same bond that was imposed for the co-defendants. While my client is charged with higher charges, part of that is an aiding and abetting theory, and part of his charges stem from the videos he made. And again, I believe once we are able to open those videos, which were on the phone given to law enforcement, although they couldn't open them, it will show this was consensual. We have a very strong defense, and I believe that, and we're happy to actually be in front of this court and have this process started because it's the first time my client has a chance to fight this offense. So I would ask the court to consider a lower bond than what the prosecution asked for, and my client will be here in court.
Well, I think a cash surety bond is appropriate. I think the circumstances here are somewhat different. Well, not somewhat, they are significantly different from the other 2 cases that have already been arraigned in this court. Defendants residing outside the state, and I am assuming he wishes to have the court's permission to continue to reside outside the state.
That is what we were going to ask the court.
If it became necessary to locate him because of a failure to appear, and because generally, I think anyone living outside the state charged with such a serious offense is a flight risk to some extent. I'll require a $25,000 cash surety bond. He may not have any contact with the alleged victim. No direct or indirect contact. Indirect contact would include no sending someone to her residence to discuss the case, no contact made at his behest by some third party, absolutely no social media relating to this case and relating to this defendant.
Your Honor, Would the court?
I'm sorry, to the victim.
Would the court please consider a 10% provision on the $25,000? My client was raised by a single mom. She's in the court. We're talking about a family that is very low income. They have me representing him. They could not be taking this case any more seriously. Would the court please consider that, just like it was done for the other defendants?
Again, I've already indicated the circumstances here are different, and under the applicable court rule, which is 6.106B 1B, the court is in a position to deny bond. Unless it finds from clear and convincing evidence the defendant is not likely to flee or present a danger to any other person, and fact is it lives outside the state and wants to continue to live outside the state and be beyond the court's jurisdiction. So I think the bond I've suggested here and impose is pretty modest under the circumstances. If he violates a bond condition, his bond could be revoked. If he violates a no contact provision, could be arrested without a warrant, and his bond could be canceled.